What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Corruptors Live. Deja vu. Oh my god. I don't know what happened. Like, people in the chat started telling me that the stream died. And I look over and I see that the chat is still moving on my screen, but then in OBS, the connection was dead. I have no idea what happened because nothing... My internet didn't die, so I have no idea what happened. Whatever. Sorry about that. So what was I saying whenever things died at that moment? And this stream is no exception. Yes, there was an exception. It crashed. Okay, so I was talking about Beamer, I believe. I was saying why I did not decide to use Beamer, which is the org mode export of a LaTeX document that you can use to generate a PDF, which has your slides from your org mode file. Okay, I decided not to do that. The reason why is because it's too difficult, at least in my opinion, to learn how to customize the Beamer output to get what I want. I can see that the network strength is not very good. So if things die again, let me know in the chat. Also, my microphone is peaking like crazy. Let me check the YouTube side too. Technomag, thank you, says that I don't like any themes and it cut out. Yeah, I don't like the themes that come with Beamer. So that's the reason why sorry, checking again. Yeah, it keeps dipping. I don't know what's happening. It's dropping frames like crazy. I don't know if it's like a CPU thing. Okay, let me try that. Maybe that's better. Anyway, what I can pronounce Beamer. Yes, Beamer is theoretically is easier to pronounce unless I'm getting it wrong. Okay. Ashra says new streaming PC already there. No, because I'm procrastinating on buying it because I'm not sure if I'm getting the right stuff. Which maybe I'll do a stream on that. We'll see. But you know, the stream has to work before I can actually do a stream on that to get my streaming PC. So we'll have to see about that. Okay, so I ruled out Beamer, okay? The next thing I looked at was a project called Scribble, which is actually pretty cool. It is a, they call it a document programming framework. And the idea is that you can produce documents using a Scheme program, and you could even write the documents in Scheme. So obviously that's going to be pretty appealing to me because I like writing stuff in Scheme. Fade says it sounds like the stuff in Racket. Yes, that there's Scribe in Racket, I think. So it's a similar idea, just ported over to Guile. And it's pretty nice. I'm actually thinking about using it for some other things, because it is a good framework for making documents, like let's say books or websites or like info files if you want to write a manual. So you could actually write the documentation for your program or project in Scheme and export it to a website or to an info file or even to like a book in LaTeX format. If you want to see what it looks like to write a document using Scribble syntax, they've got the actual syntax for the page itself here embedded. Basically have like a little document syntax, and then it's kind of like SXML, if you've ever looked at SXML before, which we'll look at a little bit later today. It's kind of like a markup syntax, just using S expressions and symbols, etc. You can also inject the result of various expressions inside of the document. So you're using sort of like that splicing syntax. Usually you would use in a backquoted expression, and that will allow you to inject certain things there. So to me, it's kind of appealing. Now, you may think, why would a person decide to write a document using Lisp syntax? It isn't because I want to use Lisp syntax. It's more because I want to programmatically insert information, like generate a table of contents or insert code blocks and insert the output of code blocks, which obviously you can do with org babel, but this is just another way to do it. And me being a person who's producing more and more written content that has some structure to it, even like the courses that I'm making that need to have a progression, need to have links between pages, need to have certain sections that aren't made available until a person has gone through a certain set of phases in the course, etc. There is some value to this, I think. So I'll be looking at Scribble a little bit more in depth later. But the problem I have with this also is that it's exporting to LaTeX once again, and I have to figure out how to customize LaTeX. I could have probably figured it out, but I decided that if I was going to do something like this, my time would be better spent doing something that is going to give me the result that I want more readily. So I was thinking about it for a while, decided not to do that just yet, but I am going to consider using this for some projects. So it is a cool thing. We will cover it again, probably on a stream some other time. So what do I know that is easy for me to do to make a document with a given layout that I'm looking for? Well, HTML and CSS. So obviously Scribble can make an HTML CSS document, but I felt like if I was going to do that anyway, it's kind of overkill for the kind of thing that I want to do. I could probably do something simpler myself. So the two options at that point are to use Dave Thompson's Haunt, which is a cool project where it's basically a static website generator. And it does have the ability to let you write your pages in a scheme syntax, similarly to Scribble. But in reality, like, this is also a little bit more heavyweight than necessary for what I'm trying to do. I just want to generate one HTML page that represents a series of slides in a presentation. And this has a lot more functionality than what I really need. So I decided maybe I'll just go even simpler than that. And I'll just use the Guile XML library instead directly. And this basically just gives you the ability to write HTML documents or XML documents using an S expression syntax. So what I've done is create my own little project called Stage, like scheme stage. Ridiculous, but whatever, like it's just a little throwaway, not really throwaway. I mean, maybe somebody would like to use this, but for me, it's a little bit of a throwaway project, just as a thing to do for fun and to procrastinate on things I should be doing. The idea is that I would come up with a very simple library that allows me to create a presentation, and it's just a series of slides effectively. So I have like a title page slide, and then each string kind of represents an individual slide. The reason why I decided to do it this way is because Benoit gave me an idea whenever we were talking in IRC one morning to use something called the Takahashi method. So this is a method of presentation where you don't have a slide with a bunch of bullet points. You have slides that generally have one word or an image or like a single phrase, maybe some bullet points, but not necessarily full of bullet points, because that's kind of defeating the purpose. The idea is more to focus the presentation more on the ideas rather than having someone read the same thing that you're saying, which, I'm so guilty of that in this channel, where I basically just read to you an org mode file while I'm recording the video. So you could have just read the whole thing yourself, but I'm just reading it to you because I'm such a nice guy. I'm reading the document. I decided to do something a little bit different, something a little bit more stylish. It's a keynote. Let's try to make it a little bit more of an event. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Ashra says, community, geeks, free software. Thank you. Yeah, 4 slides, only with, one word or small phrase. Dave says in the chat, did Larry Lessig write this Wikipedia page? Well, it is kind of funny that it says it is similar to the Lessig method created by Harvard professor and former presidential candidate. I think that's kind of overblowing his credentials a little bit, isn't it? Like, isn't he just like the creator of Creative Commons thing? I think he created Creative Commons. He's a founder of Creative Commons. Sure, he was a candidate for president, but who remembers that? I didn't remember that. So why would we put that here? Maybe he did write this. And also, did the Takahashi method predate Lawrence Lessig's use of this style? I don't know. Let's see. Left Pad says, fear for us, please. This is a community-oriented chat. Are we talking about profit? I think that's the steps toward profit, right? Fade says he did found CC, but he was a world-renowned constitutional theorist prior to his exposure to this side of human endeavor. Okay, fine. But still, calling him a former presidential candidate is kind of like misleading in a way. That's not what he's known for. Anyway, the point is that I'm going to try to use this presentation style, and there is a JavaScript tool that is what is almost slander? It's almost slander to call him a former presidential candidate, or what I'm saying. There's a tool called Big, which makes this kind of presentation. So, is there a demo somewhere? Demo. Okay. I am just going to sort of copy their CSS and general HTML output structure because what they do works. So it's just basically like this. You have, big slides with a couple bullet points, maybe some images. Yeah, some things like that. It's really easy to put this stuff together. And also for someone like me, maybe it helps me to not think too much about the scripting of what's being said, but I am actually writing a full script for the presentation. So whatever. That's the goal. So to roll back to what we're doing today, what I've already done is written the structure for this library that can produce this type of presentation, where there are certain functions that will produce maybe something a little bit more elaborate, like a section page, like a slide that sort of marks what section of the presentation we're in, or just plain strings, which will be turned into their own slide, or bullet points. Also, I've got a little section here that's like a sub list, which is basically a way to group single string slides or slides in general. Bullet points, sections, also images. So what we're going to try to do is make this output HTML so that we can turn it into a PDF presentation. And what I've done so far is just write out a text file. So if we were to eval this whole buffer and I go pull up, if I pull up the output.txt file, it basically just demonstrates what the current listing of slides would look like. So every slide is sort of separated by this 3- line. You can see what the slides are currently based on the input that I've given it. So we're going to change this to output HTML instead. Ashra says, how can this be slides from scratch if we don't also write the, what is it? I can't see because there's stupid hearts in the way. Write the something? Write the OS from scratch? No, we're not doing that. Let's see. Yash says, I make my resume with Scribble. It allows for programmatically modifying the resume depending on the job I'm applying for. Yeah, it would be very good for that. Peter says, report it to reveal.scm. Well, I can't really use like an animated JavaScript style template. It is possible. Kirill says, an alternative could be to write your presentation in org mode and export it to Reveal.js. Yes, but I don't think I can use a JavaScript presentation there. Maybe I could if I asked him, but it's just another opportunity to write some code for fun. Ashra says, but to be honest, Guile Scheme to kernelless frame buffer modification. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Instead of working on a presentation, I'm going to make a bootable presentation software that boots directly into the program and then shows things on the frame buffer. Okay? Fikri says, what do you think of 10x or 100x engineered jargon that keeps being talked about on the internet? I feel like that's already kind of played out. Like the whole 10x engineer concept. It's like the full stack engineer. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of... What is a 10x engineer? Who cares? I mean, now I'm not saying that to you, Fikri. I'm just saying it in general. Like, who cares? Who cares what a 10x engineer is? How about we just write our code and focus on solving problems for people? You know, we're not 10x engineers. We're just programmers. Let's not blow things out of proportion. Let's see. Glenna says the goal is to do everything in Scheme. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Not everything, but you know, whatever's fun. We're just trying to have fun. Boo says, I've only heard 10x in the context of jokes. No, there are people who are deathly serious about being a 10x engineer. And usually they're the kind of people you don't want to associate with because they're just going to be blathering on about how good they are at programming all the time. Who wants to hear that? Fade says, your brothers on the common Lisp side of the house are already ahead of you in the goal. What to do, like frame buffer direct rendering of something? Trev says, Gen X engineer. I'm not quite Gen X engineer, but close enough, I guess. Fade says, the only people I've run into that are into 10X are people who are decidedly not. Yes. Fikri says, I'm just asking. Yes, I know. I'm not saying anything about you. I'm saying it about the concept of 10X. And of course, at an AWS event, they're talking about this. You're saying I can't say bad things about AWS? Well, look, if at your event you're going to be talking about 10x programmers, I'm going to have to say something, aren't I? Whatever, okay? I know. I know where the paychecks come from, okay? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak poorly about AWS. Let's see. Get burnout 10x faster? Yeah, it is like that. Redacted says, what are they supposed to do with the time they save by programming 10x faster? I don't get a life. I'm just kidding. So, back to the point. Let's take a look at this code that I wrote and try to make it do something useful. So, like I said, I already wrote the stuff that generates text output, but we're going to try to generate HTML and set up the HTML and CSS in a way where it looks like presentation slides, especially whenever you use print to PDF in a browser. And the way that I'm going to turn it into a PDF is to either use Chromium to generate a PDF or a program called Wheezy Print. Ashra saw the Batman Easter egg in my code, which I didn't even realize. Okay, so Wheezy Print is kind of like a Python program that doesn't really use a browser, but it uses some kind of rendering libraries to produce a presentation file. So we might try that too. All right, so let's get to it. Let's think about how we want to use SXML. So use module SXML simple, I think. If I just eval that, I should have that in. And we have our text slide, which is sort of the default thing. Let me think about this for a minute. So the way that I did this is that the slides procedure, which is right here, let's see. Ayat says, no Mastodon announcement this time. Yeah, I forget to do it half the time. Sorry about that. I probably should do it. So the slides procedure just takes a list of slides, whatever the slides are in this case. They're just functions that return strings at this point, but we're going to change that a little bit. It calls slides to string on the slide list and prints it out. We're going to change that now. So we're going to have a define slides to HTML. And we'll create a document from this. And I need to remember the format to use in the SXML library. So looking for an example. Wow. There's not even like a straightforward example here. So, SXML to XML. Yeah, it doesn't even have one. Volunteers welcome. All right, whatever. So we'll just figure it out. SXML to XML. I think it's HTML. Let's just try that. If I were to eval this, yeah, okay, cool. So it gives me a closed tag, just a closed HTML tag. And then inside of HTML, we'll say head, and then body, H1. I think the actual content, let's see, where can I see? Yeah, okay. So H1, hello crafters. That's enough for that. I think that's good enough just to start with. So let me eval this. Also, let's turn on keycast tab bar mode. Okay. It's right here. If I eval that, now we see HTML, head, body, H1, hello crafters, body, HTML. So that should be a usable page. Now, so we need to, for each of the slides, we need to put in a div. So I'm going to say, let's just have a div here that will represent each slide. And we'll probably want to use a map lambda slide. And then I can use a backquote div. And for now, I'll just put the slide details directly in, and we'll see how that looks. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so that's a slides HTML function. Redacted says, I'm glad you introduced me to Scribbler. It looks cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I'm kind of looking forward to trying it. We're going to switch this to slides to HTML. And I think that this should actually work. So if I were to go reeval this and then go open back up that output file on this side, yeah, we have some HTML. It's not formatted. Quasi-quoting is in the house. Let me do this. I need to change that so that it gets written out correctly. Oh, yes, that's right. Let me go here, slide list. Okay, and then run it again. Then go back to this window and okay, there we go. I think we actually have some HTML being written out now. And it's basic. We need to work a little bit more on the content, but that's okay at the moment. We have a bunch of divs. In fact, let me change that to presentation.html, or yeah, that's fine. So if I were to go back to that and presentation.html, I'll load that up in the browser. Open file. Let's see, home, projects, code, stage, presentation. Okay, so we've got a page that has a bunch of divs that don't do anything yet. Okay. So what we need to do also is inject some CSS. I can try to create a CSS file here. Let me just split here and go into, let's see, slides.css. So for body, is it BG color? Is it background color? Is it BG color? Can't remember. CSS background color. Is it perfect timing on the subscription? Is just the sound that it made? Thank you, left pad. Background color, and I want to pull the typical system crafters colors. In fact, let me go to no completion in CSS buffers. Yeah, I don't have that turned on. Projects, site, systemcrafters.net, assets, CSS, site.css, background color. There it is. In fact, I'll just grab both of those while I'm at it. Font, we'll have to think about that in a minute, but at least for now, I can pull that in. So we'll go to this window and drop that in, then I can kill that line. All right. And I also need to go into main.scm and insert the style sheet heading. In fact, let me go back to my publish.el file, link style. So I already use SXML in the publishing of the official website. So I can kind of just steal what I've done here. Was it right there? Okay. So go back to main.scm. I'll drop that right in. Obviously, I need to change this part. So I will use slides.css, and I think that should do it. Okay, so I'll re-eval that function, re-eval the presentation. Now we should see the style sheet up here. Let me go reload the page. Okay, so let's see why it's not working. We'll inspect the page, look at the head. There is a slides.css here. Oh, okay. I need to serve this as a website. So we'll use HTTPD serve directory, and we'll just load this directory here. Localhost 8080 presentation.html. There we go. Okay. Interesting that the font no longer works, but that does make sense because we need to pull in an emoji font. Asra says that I missed some new System Crafters lore last time. No, I'm just being directed by the corporate sponsors of the channel. So if I blink too many times, it's because they're holding contracts up to my face off screen. Left Hat says, yeah, you're out of the loop. Watch the streams, heretic. We're talking to ourselves here. So first of all, we need to fix the font situation here. And obviously we need to make it look like pages. So let's see. Let's increase the font size. So what I want to set that as, font. Yeah, you know, like I just copy and paste CSS every time I do it. Font family. Font size, yes, there we go. There we go, size. Ashra says, needs a meta encoding. Does it? I don't need no meta encoding. Looks like it's not UTF-8. Thank you, thank you. So Boo actually did tell me the thing that I needed to hear that Dave was trying to tell me. HTML encoding. In fact, I probably have that in my publish.el here. Doc type HTML. Well, let's put that there. And the meta header. So let's just do this. Yeah, we probably want that viewport as well. We don't need that. Let's just steal that. This is how I write code. I just copy and paste things that I did before. Because why waste time rewriting the same crap over and over again? All right. So here we are. We got that set up. That needs to... That's right. Okay. So we got meta. I don't really care about the... Let's kill this line. We'll kill the title, sorry, the author thing. Typo octype instead of doc type. Thank you. I think I deleted text by accident here. What happened? What's the browser going to do? Explode? Maybe. If it does, it will make for a better stream, I would say. All right, main.scm. Okay, so we got our HTML lang head viewport style sheet. And do we close that out? Okay, we got the head closed out. Got all that done. All right, so now since it's UTF-8, hopefully the page will render. Okay, so the emojis are now rendering based on the font that I have, which is great. Don't jinx it. Yes, let's not jinx the stream because things could happen. Line 190, CMAX says, yeah, I know. I think I must have done something wrong. What is going on? There it is. Okay, yeah, thank you. Cool, so we got some HTML being written out. Now, we need to work on the CSS a little bit. We should use a font. I want to use font size 24 point. What do I do on System Crafters? Let's see. Pixel. Okay, so PX. We can start with that. Reload the page. That's a bit bigger. What about 44? That seems closer to what I'm looking for. Maybe 54. All right, let's do this actually. Inspect. You know, I need to adjust the font based on the text. So let's start with this, and then we will adjust later. So each div, we should probably have different styles. 24 feet, not point. Okay. We don't want 24-foot tall text. It might be that case on a Jumbotron screen, but not in reality. Okay, so let's see. Back in main, we need to start writing out some more information for each slide. So these string slides, we need to be able to say what they are. Currently, we are taking string slides. Actually, we're just taking the output of whatever the function is or the string itself and using it directly. So we need to change that. Now we're going to try to interpret the slide information. And I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's see. Define slide to HTML slide. So first of all, if string slide, we're going to do some default behavior for that. I will say this is going to be a div, and the class will be text. And then the content will just be the slide text. All right. And then otherwise, I will probably take whatever. Should it be a function? Or maybe it should be a function, actually. It will return a function that can be called to return the text. So I'll just say slide. I'll call that as a function. And what that means is that these functions need to now return HTML instead. Okay. So I will eval this slide to HTML, and then I will go here where I'm calling slide. I'll take the whole slide part out here. In fact, yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'll call slide to HTML. No, let's just map it over slide to HTML like that. Okay. Okay, functional programming. All right. Now I can run it again. Wrong type to apply. What is welcoming? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm calling something as a function when it's not supposed to be. There's a list, I think. Okay, yes. The first thing we hit that is not actually a string, which is probably the list that I have in there. So, I can also check if it's a const pair. So how about I change this to a case? And then why is it doing that? Actually, I'm looking for cond, right? It's not case, it's cond. Cond, all right. So string slide, then we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll just kill those lines and then pull that right here, okay. And then the next would be pair slide. I think what I need to do here is recursively called slides to HTML slide list. So a list would just be treated as a grouping of slides. And then anything else, we're just going to call slide. I think that's the right syntax. I missed a closing paren somewhere. Oh, yes, this. Okay, cool. Now we'll run this again. And it seems that we got output this time. So I think I see a bunch of div class text in here, which is good. The, what else? Title, where is it? Yeah, okay, cool. So now we have a bunch of things with, ooh, what happened? Is it backwards? And I see unspecified here a couple times. Interesting. Ashraz says, speaking of Case, I haven't seen them for some time. Where's our Case of Ducks? Case has been around in the IRC recently, but I think that he might be busy at stream time usually, so. All right. Section 3, 4. Why is the title showing up before all of these? That's pretty weird. So slides to HTML, I think what's happening is that when I have a list, okay, that's a list. Somehow that's, oh, wait. The display. We don't want the display anymore. Okay, that's the problem. So we don't want to call display. And slides to HTML, let's try that again. Let me just run, we'll eval both of these. Oh, no, actually I do want the display. Morgan says, why are you choosing big slides when there's an org reveal that can generate reveal.js slides? Because I want to write my own code. That's why. This is system crafters. We're just writing things for no reason other than just to have fun. All right. So we've got a kind of a nested list issue. Jabba says music is off, by the way. It's on, it's just super low. I don't know why the volume is so low. Okay, so I think I said I wanted the display back. Maybe I don't want the display back. Maybe it needs to be written out. CMAC says, not invented here, crafters. Yeah, kind of like that. We're just doing things for fun, right? Ashra says, time to generate infinite music with Scheme. I've actually thought about that. Maybe one day we'll do it. Okay, good. People are pleased with the background volume. That's good. It is the intro song because I only have 3 songs and they loop endlessly. I'm going to try to get some more music soon so you don't have to listen to the same songs over and over again. So I don't want to print them here. It feels wrong to print using display. And display obviously makes sense here. So I'm just going to leave it unindented because I don't care too much. Okay. So we're still writing out. It's interesting how that does show up there, though. Why is it showing up so early? I'm mapping, aren't I? Slides to HTML. Yeah, mapping slide to HTML over the slide list. CMEX says corpo music incoming. Shh, you should give me these ideas off the stream so it looks like it's actually happening for real and not because somebody told me to do it. It says Extempore and Fluxus were both built with performance programming in mind. Yes. Michael says, I'm sure you talked about this before, but this looks like one big HTML page. How are you going to put this into talk slides? There's ways to do that with CSS. Yeah, I find myself confused about why. Wait, hold up. This meta name. Why is it being written twice? Something's wrong. Something is wrong here. Okay, so we've got the HTML part at the beginning. Then the body. Then it shows up again. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, yes, I did something very wrong. What I did wrong is I didn't put the the SXML to XML here, sorry, in the slides procedure where it belongs. I was trying to generalize things a little bit, and I think I made a mistake. Whoa. All right, let's just do it this way. We're going to keep it simple, not be too flexible because there's really no reason to be. So, in fact, slides to HTML. Okay, let's keep it. Let's keep it. All right. I'm going to cut all this and put it right here instead. I probably missed a paren. That's okay. And in body, I'm going to say slides to HTML slide list. Why do it that way? Because it's better than doing map recursively, I think. Sorry, writing map in more than one place. What am I missing here? There we go. All right, so we got the defined there. Slides HTML now is just a plain old map of slide to HTML over slide list. Yes, I know this seems completely pointless. Bear with me. Unbalanced parens again. Let's double check. Seems fine to me. Expression, oh, what? It isn't a quasi-quote. God says, how is non-evil going for you? It's fine. I've gotten quite used to it at this point. Something is missing here. Something's wrong. I think that's what it is. I think I have too many closing parens there. Okay, got it. Okay, so now we've got all these changed, and I think that the output should be correct. Bad attribute link rel. Link rel. Let's see. What did I do wrong here? I think I deleted a paren. That's probably what happened. Okay. Once again, unbalanced. I think that, yeah, deleted too many parens. Okay, now let's go check the output again. I think this must be fixed. That looks better. That looks better. All right, so now we're back to where we were. So now let's try to do some things with the text on the screen. I'm going to try to steal some of that stuff from this big project, like I said. It's an MIT licensed project, I think, so stealing is okay. It's not really stealing. Whoa, what is Blue Oak? Everyone has much permission to work with the software as possible while protecting contributors from liability. Why do people use weird licenses? Who is Blue Oak Council? What is this? I feel like I've heard of this before, but what's the point? Why invent another license whenever you could just use MIT or BSD if you want something permissive? There's probably a reason. But my guess is this is permissive. Yeah, let me check that before I start taking code from here. So, is Blue Oak permissive license? See, this is a problem with inventing new licenses. Now you have to turn a programmer into an armchair lawyer just to decide whether they can actually use something. This is a nice side quest. Yeah, it's not one that I wanted to follow. All content by Kyle E. Mitchell, who is not your lawyer. Even though it says /dev/lawyer, isn't that a device on my machine? Where's dev lawyer in my machine? Cat/dev/lawyer. Give me advice. In fact, hold on. I need to echo. Echo. Hello. Can I use the Blue Oak license? Or can I use code that was licensed under the Blue Oak license? I'm going to echo that to dev lawyer. It's write protected. Ah. Cannot write to read-only file. Is it there? It doesn't exist. It lied. Symlink to dev null. Yes, it should be. Let's see. Cal 2001 says that it's OSI approved. Josh says check with MX Doctor. Let's see what the doctor has to say. Hello. Can I use code that was licensed under the Blue Oak license however I wish? Is it because was licensed under the Blue Oak license however you wish that you came to me? Yeah, we're not doing that. That's a little bit better than ChatGPT. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so OSI Blue Oak license. I'm not going to spend more time on this. I just want to look at what the OSI page says. Yeah, that's a license. I don't want to read the license again. I want you to tell me about it. Redundant with more popular. Yeah, I agree. It is redundant. What's the point? Let's just create more licenses for no reason. Sorry, folks. Like, if anybody out there is watching this and you worked on the Blue Oak thing, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like saying these things about your license, but it does seem a little bit pointless to me. Okay, so I'm going to take that to mean I can look at what they're doing with their CSS and HTML and use it. Okay. So we have a div here. Also, div slide, cursor, pointer, cursor, hand. Don't care too much about that. Slide container. Background size 100%. Display flex, align item center, justify content center. We probably do want that. Now, I need to look at what they do in their output. So if I check out their JavaScript file where they're generating their nodes, slide container. Let's see, what do they do? Slide divs. We have a presentation container. Maybe I should actually look at the demo to see what it looks like in reality, because I think this is a little bit misleading. Okay, I'm gonna right click on that and inspect. All right, so we got presentation container, slide container. Interesting that it has that size hard-coded. And then class slide, tab index 0. Now that's interesting. Is this the next one tab index 1? No, it's still tab index 0. They're also setting display none. So that's how they're hiding all the other slides. But how do you print this out though? CMAX says, narrator, he's going to spend more time on this. No, I'm not going to spend more time on pointless diversions like this whole project that I'm making. All right. So maybe this isn't super helpful. I mean, the whole point here is for me to make a PDF in the end that has pages of the right size. So let me think about this for a second. So let's see, HTML, CSS, printable page full size. Print CSS, full page for an element, okay. Use page break after on a div with height, okay. Let's try that. So I'm gonna put, in site.css, no, sorry, slides.css, I'm going to put a div.slide. And then everything else would be additional. So we're going to go back in our main.sem, and then for the slide div, we're also going to add a class of slide. Now, I can't remember, are they comma separated or no? I think they're not. I think they're space separated. Okay. Let's write out the output again. I'm going to take a look at the HTML. I see slide text. Let me go back to my own page. Okay, so that does seem to be working. It's putting one per page. Seems like it. I don't know why it's got a hash at the end. I don't know what I did there. Let's also try to print this. Yuck. Interesting. So, CSS print keep background color. I don't know if this is going to work correctly in Firefox. I might have to pull up Chromium for this. You didn't realize this was going to be a CSS stream, did you? To enable background printing. Ah. There we go. Let's copy this under body. Yes. We're just going to go copy and paste from Stack Overflow like any modern developer does. Because who really knows all these things except for full-time paid designers, which I am not. All right, so got that. If I go back into my site, Control P, didn't do it. 10x tactics, nah, that's lazy hacker tactics, which is totally acceptable in my book. Is it loading? No. Hold on. All right, there we go. Bump. Now Control P. Hey, you're still not doing what I asked you to. Color mode, color. Let me see. So it actually is putting the slides on pages, which is great. Obviously, these headers have to go away. But that's another thing to do, which I think I can take that off here. Print backgrounds. Boom. There we go. Got to get the margins off too, but I'm not going to use this. I'm going to try to automate this part. So cool. So we got that. God says, I'm a lazy hacker / amateur programmer. Anything goes in my book. Yeah, whatever makes it work in the end, so long as it's legal. You know, you don't want to plagiarize things that you shouldn't be taking. Oh, damn it. Okay, the stream's not down, is it? I saw it spin for a second. Man, what a nightmare. Okay. So, I want to pull in a font. And since this is a presentation, I think I can do this the lazy way. What's it called? CDN fonts. Can I search for Iosevka? No. Iosevka CDN. CDN.js. Okay. Oh, there's a Cloudflare CDN. Fine, whatever. All right. So we got. Where's the font CSS header? So I think it's like an include. Yeah. Can I do that? Does that work? And I'm losing track of my original browser page. Oh, did I have an error? No. I think I need a semicolon. There we go. Okay. Also for body, font family, Iosevka Ale. Did not work. And the question is, why not? Oh, yes. Someone tell me when I'm missing colons and things of that nature. Yes, thank you, SPFab. You caught me. Something's still wrong, though. Do I need to go into the stupid CSS file every time and reload it so that it breaks the cache? Looks like it. No, still not that either. Let's see. CSS import font. CSS web fonts. Font face, no. Import. Use the import method. Oh, URL. Okay. That's probably why. I always forget all these fancy extra things you got to do. Still not working. Let me check the network. Yeah, I don't see it actually doing what it's supposed to. Okay, that's actually for real. Is it import? My bad. Thank you to QQQ. Still not working. Import method. Import URL. I think I did that right by this point. Disable your cache. Yeah, it's disabled when the browser is open. Well, in theory, I think I've reinstalled everything on this computer, so maybe it's not set up. I know it's not just QQQ, but do you want me to say QQQ the whole time? I can't do that. Disable cache. Hey. Okay, still not working. Thank you, Sandwich. I use double quotes, single quotes. Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's no way. If it's freaking single quotes, I'm gonna strangle somebody. I do see it getting loaded though, but it's not actually changing the font. Let's see. Why is it not working? Let's go to my other stuff. Okay, so fonts, import URL, family. Should be fine, right? It's in the body part. Did I just tap the Super Mario theme? Maybe, I don't know. That's just me tapping angrily on my keyboard as if it's gonna do something. All right. So let's move on to CSS placement. Let's see. I was looking at the CSS file for that project, wherever it is. Slide container. So I probably do need to have something like this. Copyright strike? Yeah, I don't think so. That would be pretty crazy though, if it did. All right, so div.slide container. Yeah, let's just do exactly what they did. Why not? Okay, so slide container. I need to go back into main.scm. And in the slide output, we will put another div on the outside here. Div. Come on. Okay. And the point here is to make it so that the stuff inside can be aligned correctly based on what we want. We want it to be aligned vertically and horizontally. That's right, right? Okay. So now I'll go back and eval the file again. Looks like we now have slide containers on it. And if I go here, still doesn't do what it's supposed to. What did I do wrong? The font within the CSS is called ISFCO Web. Oh. Thank you, Ashraz. You're probably right. I wanted to look at that. Anyway, let's go back to the CSS. Is it ISFCO AL Web? Ashraz wins for the day. Okay. That may not be the best font choice, but that's what we'll go with for now because it's similar to what I'm already using. Maybe I'll go back to Jost, who knows. Okay, so the font's working. Thanks, Ashraz. So, we've broken the... I think we need this. Page break after needs to be... Hold on. Wait a second. Nah, they don't put it here. Maybe we need to take a slightly different approach to what they're doing. Even this. Is it all the same thing? Like, what am I doing here? Okay. Whoops. Okay, that looks a bit better. That's vertically centered. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Looking pretty good. Now we kind of need to adjust each slide based on the text that's there. Like this text should be bigger based on the fact that it doesn't fill the whole screen. So I wonder if there's like a CSS trick that they're using to accomplish that. Usually you use like rem or m on font sizes. Let's see, div slide, image only child, canvas only child. That's cool, I like that. Whoa. Print mode, okay. Print mode. Content aware CSS. Yeah, something like that. All right. Here we go. So, whoa, what did I just do? There we go. Okay, so CSS scale text to fit container. How about that? Font scaling based on size of container. That's not what I want though. Container queries are the best option. Container sidebar. Not exactly. Oh, okay. Viewport width. Okay, cool. That's not relative to the size of the text also though. Yeah, what Ashra says could be a possibility too. I can sort of bake in the text size based on the length of the text. It is possible. It is possible. Like below some certain amount, it could be. Okay, let's see, 10. Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, it's not changing them based on the size of the text. It could be that I have to do something myself. Like for instance, if I had maybe 3 different styles. Yeah, how about that? So div dot small text, or that's not really the greatest name. $74 EX. And if the text is below a certain length, maybe I scale it up. So what if I go back into main.sem and Abraham says, writing a presentation with org mode exporting to Beamer would not be easier? Sure, it would be easier to just do that, but I can't customize the output the way that I want to. So this is why we're doing it this way. Just so I can have some fun writing code and get the output that I'm looking for. You know, within some degree of accuracy, let's call it. Okay, so choosing the class should happen based on the length of the text. So here what I can do is format and slide text and then A, and I will pick the A based on a... And cond. Let's see. Len, let's say, okay. What are the character breaks? Else, I'm just going to say it's an empty string. We'll just let the normal text size take care of that. If the text is, if len is less than 10, let's say, what do I call it? Okay, there's large text. There's probably a CSS way to do this, but whatever. Len is less than 30, maybe. I'm going to do a huge text also. Let's just try it out and see what happens. Okay, so we got the div. All right, so slide to HTML is there. Let me rerun this. Oh, what did I do here? That's wrong. Interesting. There's text escaping going on in here. And I did something else wrong, which is I did not splice that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. Okay, here we go. Slide text, large text. Cool. So there is one large text in there. I don't know if it's that one. Boom, 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 boom. It is working to some degree. Yeah, I think it's working. So can I set a huge text? Like a 92 px, who knows? Let's just see if it works. I'll go back into the main.scm, and then here I will say less than 10 characters is huge text. Then re-eval everything, reload. GNU. That one should be bigger now, I think. Yeah, huge text. I think it's not huge enough, to be honest. So let's use the browser functionality to test this out. So what I want is this to be much, much bigger. Let's see. 142 px. Wow, is it still not going to be big enough? 242? Jeez, maybe we're getting there. Who knows? GNU. It's in your face. All right, 262. That seems overkill. And actually, I need to restrict this to be the... Actually, can I... Sorry, I keep saying actually. I know you're being driven crazy. But that's pretty good size, I think, for a slide, right? Oh, no. 262 px. We need to change this. So I want to use M sizes on this because I think we needed to adjust things based on the base size. So instead of 262, what about 40 EM? Wow. What about 20 EM? What about 10 EM? What about 8? 6. Okay, 6 EM. For those of you who don't know what the EM stuff is, that's basically a relative sizing based on the base font size that's set in the document. So here, I would actually want this to be 4 EM. Wow, that's too big. 2 EM? That can't be right. It should be going based on the HTML tag, I think. So if I put that back into HTML, I don't know if it works with body, but... Okay, so I inspect this again. I set this to 2 EM, 3 EM. 3 seems pretty good. So long as it's not, wow. Okay, so it's not gonna work for everything. So how many characters does this have? I think the large text thing probably needs to be set to less characters. What time is it? Okay. So back in the CSS file, large text is less than 30. I would say less than 20, maybe. That's probably more accurate. We'll regenerate the page. We'll reload the page. That seems a bit better, so maybe I can adjust the font size now. I'll have to adjust everything else too, which is a little bit unfortunate. I probably should work on this as well to make it look right. So there we got that. GNU is big like I want it to be, which is great. This 40 years. How long is this string? 1, 2, that's what? Yeah, large text. Could be bigger. So what did I say it was? 3 EM? That's still too big. Yeah, it's too big. 2 EM, let's say. That's better. Okay, I like that better. All right, I think we're getting somewhere now. So, Ashra says, why do you count the characters in the presentation? Count them in the source. Because Unicode. Yes, I guess I could do that. Michael in the chat says, long-time watcher and Emacs advocate. Thanks, Dave. Well, thank you. Okay. So we've got the stuff looking pretty good. I think that we can basically... Wow, what happened here? Okay, maybe I need to dial it down. Let's put that to a 4. Yeah, that's better. And the GNU one is probably okay. I could make it, you know, special for super small strings, but that's just overdoing it, I think. So I think we're okay the way we are right now. Base font size strikes. Yes. Friendly. Yes. This is what you should do. You should be friendly, helpful. That's exactly how I'm going to say those words in the presentation as well. And nobody will follow my advice. Okay. So now that we've got things rendering more or less okay, I think what we should do is try to automate the creation of a PDF file just to see what it looks like and get a sense for whether this is working correctly. There is a way to do this with Chromium. I don't know what's worse. Is it worse to have a dependency on Chromium or on a Python program that has a bunch of dependencies? I don't know what I think is worse. Maybe we should try the Wheezy print thing first just to see if it works. And then if it doesn't work well, we can go to Chromium. So the Wheezy print deal, let me pull up a little compilation buffer here. I'm going to say Geeks Shell Wheezy print. Anything else I need in that? And I need to check the docs. All right. Command line API. Okay, so Wheezy print. And it's presentation.html and presentation.pdf. Say file dev lawyer? No. Why is that open? I think eShell did that. It says Nixt exists. Can Nixt do automatic PDF printing? Wow, it's got Tech Live packages. Interesting. Is this what it's doing in the end? Yes, I'm not going to repeat what you said, Leonix, but yeah, you're right. Fade says context slew. I was referring to CMAC. Okay. Look at all these Python libraries. This is exactly what I was talking about. However, it's not like Chromium's any better. I mean, it's got a bunch of crap that it pulls in. guess we're going to pull down the entire Python ecosystem by the time we're finished with this. Did it finish? It's installing Inkscape? What's going on? Do we really need to install an entire program? I wasn't joking when I said it's pulling down the entire Python ecosystem. Look at that. Why so much? This is getting comical at this point. It says Python became an abusive development partner. I don't know, man. Like, this is I'm seeing some a WebSocket client. Why do we have a WebSocket client? Why is Twisted getting pulled in here? We shouldn't need any networking. I'm very confused. How many megabytes of stuff? 0MQ, of course. GDB, of course. Of course I need all of these things just to generate a freaking PDF. And Jupyter? What is happening? What is this? What? Trev says, you need use flags. No, I need a program that doesn't pull in the entire world. I'm really confused. After all that, is it going to work? I guess I should probably tell it that I want it to be landscape orientation. Page media. Oh, there's a working draft. Who supports this? Okay. Did it pull in QEMU yet? I wouldn't be surprised if it did. It pulled in Inkscape. Tenamok says, and how many XZ-like holes in all those code depths? Who knows? Yash says, Python is only heavy until you see NPM. Yes, NPM is bad too, but this is pretty ridiculous. It may be more of a problem with Geek's packaging than it is the actual program, because it may just be that whoever's packaging all of these libraries is not being very careful about what things they pull in. Are we finally going to get there? Is it going to work? Okay, font display swap, descriptor not supported. Well, I didn't use that. Huh, okay, it's running. It's doing something using 92% CPU. So, do we have a result yet? Does not look like it. All right, I think Chromium is probably the better, excuse me, option for this. Okay, so Chromium print to PDF, no margin. There are no margin controls. You cannot directly remove the margins for printing a PDF. The only solution is to use a tool that can crop. I think, is WK HTML to PDF? WK... Come on. Control C, Cap G, P. There's some weird invalid face error I keep seeing in Emacs recently. I have no idea why. Okay, Geeks search WK HTML to PDF. I don't think it was there the last time I looked. Yeah, it's not there. Is that right? Geeks search. search. Geeks package SWK HTML to PDF. Yeah, it's not in there. This thing's not going to finish, is it? It should not take that long to bake a PDF file. I have no idea what it's doing. I'm just going to kill it because there's no point in waiting. We're going to do this again. Compile. This time, we are going to use ungoogled Chromium. And we're going to call... Let's see, print to PDF, command line. There's a command line argument for this. I might need to do something different though. Chromium, print to PDF, no margins with JavaScript. So there's a way with Puppeteer to do this, but well, maybe I can use Puppeteer actually. Page directive enables some formatting that applies to page media like paper. Can I do that? That would be nice. Let's put this right here. Does that actually work? Does that need to go into a media tag? No. Okay. So let's not worry about that just yet. We're just worry about just running the print the PDF. No. There's a command line for this. Headless print to PDF. Okay. Got it. So there's a few things needed here. No, I need compile. And I want Chromium presentation.pdf and then the localhost 8080 presentation.html. I don't know if I've actually crap. Okay, that worked. Okay, good. I don't know if I've installed Google Chromium yet, so it may take a minute to download this, but at least it won't be installing a million things on my computer. Mark says, would you recommend starting with Doom Emacs or just vanilla? Whatever makes you productive. I would say starting with Doom Emacs is just fine because you can learn some interesting things about what you can do with Emacs, and then you can move on to making your own configuration whenever you feel more comfortable to do that. Otherwise, just go vanilla. All right, so seems to have downloaded this. We'll see if it actually runs it. Okay, says it wrote some bytes to presentation.pdf. Let's take a look. I'll try to open it up here. Open file. Let's see. I need to go to the same folder. Projects, code, stage, presentation.pdf. All right, so it does actually seem like it did it with no margins, but it's not landscape mode. So can I control landscape mode? Yeah, some of this is not aligning correctly either. And the fonts aren't showing up correctly. Let me see here. Chromium print to PDF with web fonts. Comment out media query in CSS, reopen browser, load the web font in PDF, re-add media query section. What? I don't care about print preview. I care about printing it. Yash says, maybe I remember correctly, but I think Andy Wingo had a Guile presentation package already. Yeah, I looked at that one too. It's also possible. Browser loads. Oh, need to wait some seconds for the web font to load. That's right. Okay. Let's see. Is there not a way to do that? I think there's a new command line argument. Chromium print to PDF wait seconds. I know there is one for that now. They added a command line argument for this. Virtual time budget. Run all compositor stages before draw. There we go. So, it sounds ridiculous. Oh, also, Chromium print to PDF command line landscape. You cannot use landscape on command line for Chrome or derivatives like Edge. Lame. Command line interface for creating PDFs using headless Chrome. Ah, okay. Interesting. And how does it work? Uses Puppeteer, okay. Format. Yeah, I don't really want to have to like re-implement Puppeteer's behavior right now. I'm sure they're like injecting things into the processor or something to make this work. Oh, it does rotate the sheet if you specify size landscape under page. Ah. How about that? So there's two things we need to do. One is use the run all compositor stages, and then the other was the wait thing. The virtual time budget. So that's 10 seconds. That seems too long. I think that this should be like 2 seconds. Should be enough. I never save my lawyer. All right, let's open it again. All right, the font worked. It's landscape pages. There's a little bit of a weird cutoff there on the side, but it does seem to be working. This is not centering correctly, probably because the text is too long. That looks pretty good. The emojis look a little bit weird, but that's okay. I wonder if they're portable. Like if I load it on another machine, will it work? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I know why it's like this. I need to change the output. Nice. I have no idea why this is here though. What is the hash doing at the end of the document? Did I insert something incorrectly at the end? Oh, is it the display? Why would it do that? Well, as you can see at the end, I think we basically have gotten it working to the extent that I intended. Let me just do one more thing here. So the one thing we did not do yet is change one of the, close that. Change one of these things like section. Let's call it section. So the section function defines section. Instead of formatting a string, what we should do is have our own div. Is that right? Right syntax? I think it's slide. I think also we can probably simplify this and get rid of the outer div. We'll try it with this slide, actually. Yes, the first slash probably should be a colon. I'm not gonna push it yet. This is a Libra planet also. So slide text. I'll leave it to the normal size. Probably needs to be a section as well. Like a section slide, but that's okay. What I want to do is inside the div, I'll put 2 more divs. Div, wow, I keep going into insert mode. Div for the title. And div for the subtitle. And we'll get rid of that. Trev says, David Will's making the face that I make when I look at crazy scheme code too. This also needs to be a procedure. So lambda, this is going to be a little thunk procedure here. Okay, and then we'll go run it again. And now see part 1, I see it in a div with another div after. So let's actually take a look at that and see if the output is what we expect it to be. Let's get rid of some tabs that we don't need anymore. Okay, here. Now let's scroll down. Part 1, why community matters. All right, good. The question is, why does it not center? Oh, is it because I didn't put I didn't put the slide container. Let's go back to section. There we go. Let's see if this works. I have not reevaluated yet. Part 1, why community matters. All right, so I don't have a line break. How do I do that? Second div has no slide class. It doesn't need it because it's inside of the. So I have a div that contains 2 divs, basically. Are your divs not block elements anymore? Maybe not. Ah, block. Let's see. Yash says, guys, just to be clear, this is all for fun and games. Corporate requires all presentations to be done in PowerPoint. That's right. In my CSS, do I want them all to be block elements? Maybe. Let's try that. Didn't seem to help. Maybe that's why. No. Yeah, div display block. Display block by default. Should be right then. It's definitely not in line. Let's see. CSS line break after div. It's not really a line break. Forcing line break after div. Clear both. Float left is causing the problem. See you, Fade. No. Did not work. Do I have float elements? I don't have any that are set as float. CSS float. Float and clear. Element does not float. Displayed where it occurs in the text, which is the default. Okay. Float left, float right, no float. Initial 22 lines of the CSS. There you go, Ashraz. Nothing special. Just a bunch of font settings. Did you see it? Display flex in which? The div? Or in the page? Let's see. CSS display flex. Displays an element as a block level flex container, line 18. Ah, thank you. Gotcha. Maybe I don't need that for now. There it is. However, the alignment no longer works. So we're not aligning the text. Unless what I need is to actually have this be a container again and have the slide stuff be on the inside. So probably there. Let me go text align center. Gotcha. Cool. There that is. Yes. Great. Thank you, Ashraz. I think that worked. Worked just fine. Was Guile present evaluated? Yes, Peter. I just forgot to mention it. I did look at that. All right, and then we'll just do one last little. Why does the font look smaller all of a sudden? Is it just me? Let's do one last print job on this. In fact, I need to save that line because otherwise I'm not going to remember what I did. I will cut this and then I will say add dir local variable scheme mode. I mean, really it's nil, I guess. Compilation command, compile command. There it is. All right. Boom. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Nil, compile command. I need to have it be in quotes because it's a value. All right. So there's that. Go back to main.scm, normal mode. Okay. Now compile. No, we're not saving the lawyer. Yes, Ashraz is the best coding assistant. Still need to figure out what's going on with that little extra line at the side, but that's a minor... Wow. Okay, that doesn't work. That's a minor issue. Vertical centering. Div vertical centering. Yikes. So maybe the flex behavior was better. It's just I need to figure out the right way to make it work. Anyway. Imagine showing up with those slides. Aren't they beautiful? Not right now. Maybe they will be. Change the flex direction. Let's see. Flex direction. Ashraz knows everything. Column. Flex direction column. Cool. That's better, actually. Okay, let's go back to slides. Let's undo. And then here we go. Flex direction vertical. Is that right? No, column. Okay. Then we go back to our presentation real quick. We're going to be done in just a second. Right there. Reload. Okay, there we go. Okay, the part one works again. Thank you, Ashraz. Ashraz solved all of the CSS issues. And it looks good. Let's do one more compilation. Wow, was it that fast? Okay. And let's take a look. Looking pretty good. That part's not working for some reason. I'll fix it later. More things need to be adjusted. It may turn out that I don't use this because it is kind of a problem. Why Why is it doing that? Should I put the background color on the HTML instead of the body? Chromium, print to PDF with background, artifact on edge. Who knows? Nah, that's gonna be a hard one to search for. Anyway, that's it. I added a G after column. Column. Yes, thanks. Probably I made a mistake when I was typing. Okay, let's reload it one more time. Still busted. There's no cache on this because it's a local file. Anyway, I hope that was somewhat entertaining or interesting. It's still there? No way. Come on. How did it get back? It got back because I pressed G, trying to make it happen in the compilation buffer. It's fixed. Trev, you saved me about 5 seconds. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, what was I saying? I hope that was somewhat entertaining or informational. I know that some people were annoyed that I was doing this instead of doing something more practical, but that's not the point. It's not the point. Doing something that's practical is not fun sometimes. Just ask Trev. Trev spent this week writing an RSS reader in Bash. You know, sometimes we do things that aren't very practical, but it's for fun, you know, just to do something, to use a language that you like, to write a tool that you might use for one time, and then it just goes on with the sands of time. I mean, what do you want me to do about that? Linda says, extremely interesting. Yes, I hope that people who are trying to learn, dear Lord, Cal says. So I'm sure Cal is talking about the Bash RSS reader. Okay. Albanazi says, no practical work allowed on Friday. Yeah, that's probably a good point. Josh says, this is just an ad stream for a Microsoft 365 subscription. Nah, probably not that. But I might have to sell some AWS stuff soon. Just kidding. Cool. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your time and attention, and especially the help of those of you who were pointing out all my flaws, because I made plenty of them. And hopefully, this is going to turn into a nice presentation for LibrePlanet. We'll see. You'll see on next Saturday if I actually use these slides or if I just break down and use LibreOffice presentation tool or whatever. Glenna says, I may clone this if it's made available. I will make it available. Like if I actually get everything polished up, I'm going to push it up to a repo on my Codeberg profile, codeberg.org/davidwill. I will push it there whenever I have something usable, and then you will be able to try it yourself if you want to. Trev says, that went better than I expected. Yeah, well, I did enough of the early work to get the basic structure done that it was able to succeed. All right, like I said, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend. Until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you.